Good evening to one and all. In the last session, we discussed what are the contents that we are going to cover throughout this continuous session. Okay. Now today we will move to the starting point, that is the basic fundamentals. Before going to the concept, first we will do the basic fundamentals of Python programming. Okay. So we will explain clearly. Understand? Python is a general purpose high level programming language. What is mean by this one? Generally, programming languages are categorized into different types. So, high level language, assembly language, mission level language. Right now, we required only two things. Right now, we required only two things. For example, consider a computer or a mission, computer or a mission understands only binary language. A mission understand only binary language. For example, you are the person, you understand only English language. Other than English, no language you don't know. Suppose I am the person, I know only Telugu language. Other than Telugu, I don't know any other language. In a similar fashion, computer understands only binary language. Binary language in the sense everything is written in the form of zeros and ones. Binary in the sense everything, every statement is written in terms of zeros and ones. Okay, that is very clear. But coming to user are the programmer. We are the programmer. We are writing a program. Suppose for this programmer or user point of view, it is very difficult to write the program in binary. Why? Because, for example, a simple example, if you want to perform an addition between two numbers, you are using either calculator or a keyboard, whatever it is, simply you are using, first you type the number plus the symbol and then 3, automatically the operation is performed. Suppose in computer point of view, the 2 is converted into binary, 3 is converted into binary, even the symbol plus is also converted into binary. What is the, so by mathematically we know 1 0 is the representation for 2, 1 1 is the representation for 3. For numbers it is very easy to form. For example, what about plus? Somewhat difficult. So it is very difficult to remember every statement in terms of zeros and ones. That is the reason user writing the programs by using high level in the sense our natural language like English. That means I written the program by using English language. Computer understands only machine language. Then obviously you have a question. Then how the computer understands this English? Simply we need a translator. For example, observe some meetings, approximately, suppose PM meeting, approximately assume PM meeting. Suppose in PM meeting, everything is told in Hindi. For example, in Telugu states. So they don't know the Hindi. Then what you do? Some translator, some person is available. He translate the Hindi into Telugu. Similarly, whatever the program we are written in high level language, that is understandable by the computer by using of this translator. Internally this happens, it is not visible to you. Internally this translator converts. Now, so the translator is technically a general name. We have two types of translators. Two types of translators are available. For what purpose? To convert the high level programming language into mission level language. One translator is, the name is technically compiler. Second one is interpreter. Remember, if you are considering either C language, Java or Python, suppose right now we will discuss only three, C, Java or Python, whatever it is, we are writing the programs in our natural language. And whatever the programming language, not only these three, any programming language, a machine or a computer understands zeros and ones. So to convert, we are using either a compiler or interpreter. You can use anything depending upon the programming language. First of all, you have to know what is the difference among these two, compiler and interpreter. For example, coming to the same concept, a speech point of view. For example, some ex-person give the speech approximately 10 minutes. Approximately 10 minutes. Assume he total discussed 20 points. Assume in the speech he totally discussed 20 points. Then after completion of all the 20 points, the translator converts the 20 points into another language. That is the first way. That is, first the person completed his speech in Hindi language. After completion, he again completely transfer into Telugu language. And what is another way? Instead of completion of all the 20 statements, first statement 1 is completed and then he immediately converts into Telugu and then he moves to other person. Statement 2 is completed, converted to Telugu. You got the point? You are writing a program. The entire program is at a time is converted into mission level language by using compiler. Suppose if you want to convert the program into mission language line by line, that is first it converts the first line. If there is no problem, that is there is no errors in the first line, then only it moves to the second line. If there is no errors in the second line, then only it moves to the third line. That means in case of compiler, all the errors are displayed. But in case of interpreter, whenever there is an error, it stops the conversion. It starts the conversion, that is line by line. No problem. We will discuss the two things in detail whenever we are moving into the Python programming language. And one more thing is C is the compiler language. That is C language uses the compiler. Python is interpreter language. So Python uses the concept of interpreter. C uses the concept of compiler. This is and that is the meaning of high level programming language. Now, what is mean by general purpose? General purpose in the sense Python used for any application, any regular programming language also it is possible to use the Python programming. So that is called this general purpose. Now, now, so Python, he is a scientist who developed the Python in the year 1989. So this is the institute where the Python language was developed, and from this date onwards, officially Python comes into existence. This is the basic thing. Who developed the Python, where they developed the Python, and in the last session we discussed this point. Python is recommended as the first programming language for beginners. What is the meaning of this one? Compared to remaining programming languages, it is very easy and very simple to learn, very easy to understand. That is the readability of the program is very easy. Okay, so that is the reason Python is recommended as the first programming language. Now, so this is the difference among different programming languages. So no problem, again I will explain. What is my program? My program is simply print a message hello world. My program is print a message hello world. Suppose if you are using Java, this is the way. Compulsory each and everything must and should written inside a class, and inside a class you have to write the main method, and inside the main method only you have to use subprint statement for printing the output. In C language, you have to use the main, but coming to Python, a single statement is sufficient. Only a single statement is sufficient to print the value. So that means easy to use, easy to understand. So compared to remaining programming languages, it is very easy to learn Python programming language. Now, so what is the meaning of this one? Generally, we know one general fact. So what is that particular thing? For example, we are developing a project. Assume we are developing a project. So at the time of project development, what are the different considerations what are the different factors we consider? For example, assume for this project already some existence are already available. What is the problem of that particular project? And your aim is how do we overcome that particular problem? Suppose, and another project is already designed by modifying those problem, but it has some another problem. That means, in the same sense, with different programming languages are already developed. Different programming languages are already developed. Each programming language has some best features. Along with the programming languages have some disadvantages also. For example, coming to C programming, C is the completely procedure-oriented programming. So it does not support object. That is the disadvantage. To overcome that future, we are moving to C++ like this. So consider the different best available programming languages, and among the languages, the best features are extracted. They extracted the best features. For example, the functional programming are also called as the procedural programming. Both are same. The functional programming features from C language and the object-oriented programming features are extracted from C++. That is the reason Python supports both procedure oriented programming and then object oriented programming. In the yesterday session, the syllabus also we discussed both the things, the procedure oriented and then object oriented, both the things are covered. Okay, along with the scripting languages like JavaScript. So scripting language features are also available. Perl shell script, modular programming features are from modular 3. Now observe the thing carefully. By understanding this one, what is the thing? Python is the programming language which contains the complete features of C language, generally C++, Perl, shell scripts, modular 3, that more almost 3 to 4 languages are clubbed together to make a single programming language. That is, all the benefits that are provided by these 5 programming languages are supported by only a single programming language, the Python. That is the main point. Okay, that is the reason Python becomes the most popular language nowadays. Now, now the thing is obviously where we can use Python. We already said the Python is a general purpose. That is, in every situation, in any situation, you can use Python. Any situation. Okay. For example, these are the areas where we are using Python. First one, for developing desktop applications. What is mean by desktop applications? Simply the softwares that are installed in a particular computer. For example, whenever you are going to a shopping mall, so for example, the shopping mall contains some billing. Suppose assume DMart. DMart has some billing software. So that software is developed by using this Python. The software is developed by using Python. That is the VLC media player. So compulsory you have to install VLC player in your system. Then only it is possible to view the movies. So that such a type of applications are developed by using Python, and we can develop the web applications. We can develop web applications in the sense any sites, anything that are related to web. For example, if you are opening a college website, the website is created by using Python. Or if you want to do a project that includes web, that is web browser, server, all the things, that also uses Python. So complete any online web applications are also developed by using Python, and any projects that involves database, any projects that involves database. So in the last session also we discussed MySQL database, how the Python programming is interacted with the MySQL database, and network programming, developing the games. I think understand easy everything. So for games development, for data analysis. So these three are the most important thing for data analysis application. That is data analytics. That is the most booming job nowadays. Data analytics. For machine learning, obviously we know for machine learning we are using Python along with for AI and IoT. That means in the simple sense, A to Z, where we can use Python, you can use at any place, anywhere, at any time. So at any point of view, we can use the Python. That is the reason only Python becomes the most popular language nowadays. Okay. So these are the applications of Python. Now, features of Python. Features of Python. So the first feature is the very simple thing. Obviously, we understand that one. 1 second, please. Okay. So the features are, the first one is Simple and easy to learn. Simple and easy to learn. The name itself specifies the Python programming language is very simple and it is very easy to learn. How can you make this one? After completion of the course, okay, based on the remaining programming language, this is simple, easy. Then only you can set that point. Now, freeware and open source. That means the Python is freely available in the internet. We can freely download from the internet and you can use the Python software. You can use the Python software. Okay. Now, the next one is high level programming language. High level programming language. So just now we discussed what is this high level. Everything is written in terms of our natural English language. So Python is also written in the same language. Python is also written in the same language. Okay. So that is the basic point. Simple language and it is freely available and high level programming language. High level programming language along with the next one. What is the next one? Platform independent. Platform independent in the sense, so the pro we can run this Python program on platform any platform in the sense, for example, this is the system, it uses Windows operating system. Suppose you are writing the program in this system. If you are moving this program into some Linux operating system or Mac operating system, no problem. The program is executed perfectly. Okay, so that means on any platform the program is executed. Now, the next one is portability. Simple sense. Simple sense. We are writing some code. The same code is run on different missions. Both are same almost. I will explain the clear differentiation. For example, first to move to portability. What is mean by this one? For example, we are writing a code in one mission. We are writing a code in one mission. The same code is used in different missions. The same code is used in different missions. What is mean by different missions? For example, assume an operating system Mac OS. You are writing the Python code in Mac. Suppose the same code, if you want to run it and the Windows operating system, or if you want to run the same code in Linux operating system, you don't need to make any changes. You don't need to make any changes. Okay, that means we no need to write the program multiple number of times for different platforms. That means whenever there is a platform change, no need to change the platform. No need to change the platform. You got it? That is the meaning of portability. Remember, Java also supports this feature. Now, to clearly explain this one, what is mean by platform independent? The same logic. Suppose write the slogan. Once we write a program, suppose once we write a Python program, simply, that means once we write, it can run on any platform without modification. It can run on any platform without modifications. I think you know Java programming language. Similar to Java, for example, write once, run anywhere. Java slogan is write once and run anywhere. So there is we have JVM, Java Virtual Machine is available, and whenever the program is executed, a byte code is generated. So that byte code is to be placed on any mission. Exactly the same thing. Once we are writing the program, once we are writing the program, we can run on any platform without modify the code. Without modification of the code, we run any platform. Generally, in Java, we have the JVM is used to handle the situation. Suppose in Python, the name is Python Virtual Machine. In Java, that is called Java Virtual Machine. In Python, that is called Python Virtual Machine. Okay. Yes. Next one, the most all these features are available. Generally, these three features are available in Java also. Now the most important feature of Python is dynamically typed. This is the very important and the most important thing. Okay, I will explain this one once. Now I will explain clearly. Dynamically typed language. Dynamically typed language. If before you want to know this one, you have just the basic things of either C language or Java language. For example, coming to C language, for example, my program is to perform addition of two numbers. My program is addition of two numbers. Assume, I think you know the C language. Even though you don't know C language, no problem. This is a general scenario. I am given two numbers. You have to perform addition of two numbers. Assume the two numbers are whole numbers. Whole numbers is a mathematical term. Technically, those are called integer numbers. Now, in C language, what is the procedure? First, we have to write down the main. Within the main, the first step is declare A comma B. See, assume A comma B. These are the two variables. These variables hold the value, and C is the variable which is used to store the addition of two numbers A, B. Suppose here we are writing the statement after performing some statements, C is equal to A plus B. That means here the thing is, before using a variable in your program, what is the first step? The first step is you have to declare the variable. That is A, B, C. These are the three variables that are declared of type integer. That means these three variables hold only whole numbers, and these are the variables that we are going to use throughout our program. That means a declaration is compulsory. For example, in the program A is equal to 5. No problem. Why? 5 is a whole number. Suppose A is equal to some 6.3. It is invalid. Why? You declared A is an integer type only. You declared that A is an integer type only. But here you are assigning some real number. So it gives an error. Or A is equal to some hello. It is not a number, it also gives an error. But coming to Python, in Python, no need to declare the variable. No need to declare. Whenever you required a variable, simply you can write the variable. For example, instead of this statement, directly A is equal to 5, B is equal to some 6.3, C is equal to A plus B. No problem. Now the answer is 11.3. Now understand, there is no restriction on the type of the value, whether the variable holds a whole number or a real number. Understand carefully. Except to Python, suppose C language, first we have to declare the variable along with type. The type specifies this is the only possible type that is stored in a variable. So A int A, in the sense A can hold only whole numbers. But in Python, that the declaration is not allowed. So if you are writing A is equal to 5, based on the value, okay, now A is an integer value. Here A, B is some float value, that is a real value, like this. Dynamically typed. This is called static. Now you got the meaning. Static in the sense the fixed. Dynamic in the sense depending upon the value, the type of the variable may change. Suppose if I am assigning 5, automatically that is an integer. If I am assigning 6.3, that is a float. Suppose if I am assigning hello, that becomes a string. There is no restriction on the variable. Only based on the value, the type is automatically fixed. That is dynamically, and this one is the most important thing. And already discussed, Python supports both the procedure oriented programming and object oriented programming. And interpreted, this is also just now discussed. Interpreted in the sense a high level programming language is to be converted into mission level language by using the translator interpreted, by using the translator interpreter. Now, extensible in the sense We already defined the program in one language. Suppose if you want to add some more functionality by adding some other programming language features, that means for the Python program, you can add some C language features also. It is possible. It is possible to add additional functionality that is called extensible. That is called extensible, right? So this is the basic thing, the basic fundamentals of Python, where what are the applications, what are the features of Python. If you have any doubt, please ask me before going to the next topic. If you have any doubts, so please ping me. Okay, okay, right. Now I am moving to the next point. Next point is identifier. What is mean by identifier? For example, consider okay, I have a doubt about the procedure oriented and object oriented programming. Yes, yes. Whenever the concept of that particular thing comes, I will explain. Here I am explaining just to, for example, under procedure-oriented programming, everything is defined in terms of functions. But coming to object-oriented programming, everything is treated in terms of objects. Okay. So once we understand the concept of this, then it gives the clear idea. Okay. No problem. We will get this point. Now, what is an identifier? For example, consider any programming language. We are using some variable. Suppose to perform some operation, we require some variable, and to define the name of a function, name of a class, name of a module, name of the variable. That is, throughout the situation, we are allowed to give some names. How do we give the names? So the names are called identifier, not only in Python, any programming language. What is mean by identifier? Identifier is simply a name, a name. Now, what are the rules to be followed? What are the rules to be followed? Blindly, okay, this is the identifier, this is the identifier. Blindly, those are not allowed. You have to follow some rules to define the identifier like this. For example, whenever you born, your parents give some name to you. So they are not blindly give the name to you. They are following some rules. What are the rules they followed? For example, they followed the date of birth, time of birth, at that particular time, what is the start star. So based on the star, your name must and should starts with these letters. So based on all these conditions, okay, so the name starts with these letter only. So the first letter is fixed, followed by anything depending upon their requirement. So exactly in the same sense, in the programming language also, we have to follow some rules. You have to follow some rules to define the identifier. What are the rules? The first one, in any identifier, the only allowed characters are these three. An identifier contains only these alphabets, that is either lowercase small a to small z or uppercase capital A to capital Z. Both are different. Remember the thing, in a programming language, not only Python, whether you are using C, C++, Java, and Python, in every programming language. So lowercase letters are different from uppercase letters. Now letters, digits, any digit between 0 to 9, that is 1 2 1 3 combination is also possible, any digits. Now the only special symbol is underscore. Underscore is the only special symbol that is allowed. So that means a name contains only these three. All these three are not compulsory. It contains, these are the allowed characters. Now, what is the second point? Identifier. That means a name. The identifier should not starts with a digit. Should not starts with a digit. That obviously, what is the meaning of this one? If it does not starts with a digit, in the sense it starts with either a letter or a digit. It starts with either a letter or a digit. For example, consider some valid identifier. A is a valid identifier. This is an alphabet. It is perfectly okay. For example, AB. So this is a single name. Observe, whenever you are given space, then only they are separated. Until there is no space, that is considered as a single name. AB, that is a single name. For example, AB1. This is a valid. A1B. This is also valid. A underscore B. Not only A. Not only A. For example, total underscore sum. This is valid. That means any name that contains alphabets, that is either lowercase or uppercase, or the digits 0 to 9 and underscore symbol. Only underscore are valid. Suppose consider some invalid. $B. This is invalid. Why? Except underscore we are using dollar. It is not possible. For example, A1A, it is not valid. Why? He already said the identifier does not starts with a digit, but here it starts with a digit. Identifier can starts with an underscore. That is the reason underscore ABC. This is valid. But if you are given underscore, compulsory followed by any letters or digits. Underscore followed by any letters or digits. So this is invalid. Okay, you got it? Valid and invalid. If any alphabet that starts with a digit, any alphabet that starts with a digit, it is not allowed. It is identifier not allowed. That is invalid identifier. It can be starts with either alphabets or underscore only. Generally, if it starts with underscore, underscore is followed by any letter. Otherwise, a single underscore, it is not possible to identify the variable name. Now, identifiers are case sensitive. Just know, case sensitive in the sense uppercase letters are different from lowercase letters. Uppercase letters are different from lowercase letters. Now, we cannot use reserved words. What is mean by reserved words? Generally, at the time of program language development, at the time of whenever a program language is developed, some words are reserved for some fixed meaning. These are the words reserved for some fixed meaning. So such a type of words are used only for such purpose. Other than such purpose, it is not possible. Okay, so the reserved words are not possible to use as names of identifier. Now, there is no length limit for the Python identifier. That means we are given a name. There is no restriction on the size of the name. There is no restriction. Here you can give a variable of single name, that is a single letter. Or here you can give a variable of contains 1000 characters. So whatever it is, there is no limit on the length of the identifier. Okay. So these are the rules to follow for identifier. Now, just now we discussed the term keywords. What is a keyword? Some words are reserved for some specific meaning. Some words are reserved for some specific meaning. So such words are called reserved words. These words are not allowed used as names of identifier. The reserved words are not used as names for identifiers. Okay. What are the reserved words? And Python contains 33 words. The Python programming language contains 33 reserved keywords. Okay, so generally all the reserved keywords are in lowercase. All the reserved keywords are in lowercase, but only three are starts with uppercase. Except three, all are starts with uppercase. For example, true, false, none. These are the three reserved words which starts with uppercase. Remaining are lowercase keywords. Now, before moving to the next topic, if you have any doubts. So actually next topic, when we entered into the syllabus, so these two are the basic things. What are the basic things? Identifier and keywords. Even though these two are the basic things, for anything these two are the compulsory. Without any name, generally it is not possible to perform any operation. Okay. So if you have any doubt, please ask me this.
So what's the difference between identifiers and
Sorry,
keyword?
sorry.
What is the difference between identifiers and keyword?
Exactly, super. So identifier is any name, any name. For example, you are using a variable. The name of the variable is identifier, but keyword is some fixed words or some reserved words. Those words are not used as identifier. For example, if my name is Nagaraju, see, the Nagaraju is an identifier. Anyone can use this particular name. Anyone can use this particular name. For example, one reserved word India. Assume India. India is a fixed, that is the reserved word. No one is not allowed to use the name of the India. Okay. So identifiers are any names, say the names of the variable, names of the classes, name of the functions, or anything. But coming to keywords, the words that are reserved for some fixed meaning, only for that purpose only they are used. Yes,
Okay, thank you.
yes. Any other else, please?
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, I am Pujita.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, rules of identifiers. Third point once again explain.
Okay. The third point is very simple. Identifiers are case sensitive. Case sensitive in the sense lowercase letters are different from uppercase letters. For example, in my program, I am given two names. A is equal to 5. This is the variable. This is called variable. Whenever we are moving into the program, you understand very clearly. Right now, understand a is equal to 5 and capital A is equal to 6. Now, these are not a single one. These are two variables. That means this one is completely different to this one. Okay. So that means case sensitive in the sense the lower case letters are different from uppercase letters. That is the meaning. Okay, ma'am, clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any other else, please? By today, I will stop the session. Why? Because this is the only demo session. Okay. By today, I will close. Why? Because
So,
yes, please.
excuse me. An identifier is equal to a variable, right?
An identifier is equal to.
A variable are they the same?
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir. Actually, identifier.
So is the identifiers equal are the same as variable, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that yes?
Sir, actually, I am not clearly getting your point. Otherwise, please ping the message, sir. Ping the message, sir.
Yes, I was asking identifiers and variable are they the same thing?
Really, sorry, I'm really not getting your point.
Okay,
Actually, I am getting only the first point, identifiers. I'm getting only the identifiers. And what is your second point? Identifiers are really, yes, identifier. Oh, sorry, I am getting your point. Identifier and variable are the same thing. No, actually, variable is completely different to identifier. For example, a simple example, one simple example. For example, I am one variable. My name is Nagaraju. Suppose you are one variable. Assume your name is some ABC. Another person is another variable. His name is some XYZ, like this. So these three members are called variables. Now, so how can you say that my name is Nagaraju? That means this name is called identifier. For example, in a programming language, we have functions. In a programming language, we have classes. That means at any place there is we have you have to given some names. The names are called identifier. The names are called identifiers. So Identifiers are simply the names that are given to either a variable or a class or a function, etc. So variable, for example, coming to variable, what is mean by variable? Variable is an identifier. The term mean variable is an identifier in the sense the name of the variable follows the rules of the identifier. Variable can hold some value. Variable have some memory location. By using variable, we are performing some operation. But I technically, physically, variable is existed, but identifier physically not existed. Identifier is the logical thing. Logically, this is the name given. So both are completely not equal. Completely, there is no distinction. There is no equality between those things.
Okay.
Yes. Any other else, please? Okay, so this is the basic session. So the basic thing, identifier and keywords. From the Monday session onwards, so we are moving into the original concepts. That is the original starting of the syllabus. Okay, I got one more message. I have some doubts regarding